Welcome back to the David Pakman Show.
Okay, first thing, a follow-up on the blood. Dave, for those who weren't listening, yesterday on the bonus show, I talked about this story where an Alabama judge said to defendants who could not pay fees or fines or whatever that you can give blood and I won't send you to jail. And the blood was thrown out, or at least the vast majority of it, rejected by whoever the blood was given to. And then I said that this is kind of a waste. What's going on? Why would you just throw it out when people could use it? Someone wrote in, they said there was a very good reason to throw out the blood. If compensation is offered for blood, there is a greater chance of diseases being transmitted. This has been known since the 70s. There's actually a federal law signed by Nixon that requires making such blood, illegal, or making such blood. Is this a typo?
No, that's an acronym for as far as I know.
Okay. Making such blood and marking such blood. And as far as I know, hospitals refuse it. Blood from criminals is especially suspicious. And they wrote, when I heard the case, this was the only problem that rose in my mind. I was amazed that you did not know of this. And note that no testing is foolproof, so one has to screen the donors. And by the way, Finland is not part of Scandinavia.
Yeah, I looked that up. There's not agreement as to whether Finland is part of Scandinavia, actually. It's quite interesting.
I think Finland does not like to be called part of Scandinavia. I think...
But there seems to be debate raging as to whether Finland is part of Scandinavia.
I guess there's debate, yeah. But I understand this, but isn't all of the blood tested anyway? I mean, in this case, yes, you're screening donors, but I mean, they're not really criminals. Are they criminals? They're kind of criminals. I mean,
well, I think these were individuals who had been accused, but they had not been convicted. So no, you're not really a criminal until you're not a criminal until you're convicted. And I understand what he's saying, that you have to, when you can't have a foolproof test for blood, you have to have some kind of general screening methods. I understand what he's saying, and it may well be that hospitals refuse that blood.
Yeah.
And
if this is the law, then that's the law. I mean, that's fine as well. Okay, there was a sword attack in Sweden. That's right, not a shooting, but someone with a sword and a knife, it seems that there were two weapons, attacked a school, killing one teacher and killing one student, leaving another teacher and student injured or severely injured. So this was a 21-year-old man, came into school wearing a mask and a helmet and was dressed in all black. And at first people thought it was kind of like a joke or had something to do with Halloween, some type of prank. And then they saw this guy stab a teacher. And I guess, all hell broke loose. The police showed up quickly. They fired 2 shots, one of which incapacitated the attacker, and they arrested him. So this was... there's not really a whole lot to discuss here about the attack.
No, but you know what there is there to discuss.
Sweden has very strict gun laws, and Dave, this is someone who presumably could not get their hands on a gun and had to resort to blades.
Well,
right?
There's 2 ways to look at it. One is, if he had a gun, he could have killed more people, right? That's one way to look at it. The pro-gun right is saying, see, even without a gun, you can still kill people. But look at how rare this is, right? We're talking about a sword attack in Sweden because it is so incredibly rare that we have these things happen. So I think if anything, the fact that it is so unusual to hear a story like this is proof that without guns, it is harder to kill people, at least the same number of people.
That's right. It is harder, no doubt. And so this reminds me of the China story a while back. China on the bonus show. What do you know? There was some madman who attacked a school in China with a knife. He stabbed something like over 20 people and no one died.
Yeah.
No one died. And so more guns is not the answer. fewer guns is the answer. And I think no guns would really be an ideal situation. But, do I want to tell my friend that he can't own that, his World War II, Russian sniper rifle? I mean, he's not going to kill anyone with it. Yeah, that's a cool curio item. And
well, many places, many places have solved that problem by just saying you are allowed to have guns. It's much easier to have guns older than a certain date because they're considered to essentially be antiques.
Yeah. Well, they're still usable weapons, though.
Sure.
I've shot the thing. Would not want to be on the receiving end of one of those bullets, Dave. Let me tell you. Anyway, what can you do? I guess you can move to Sweden. WikiLeaks has published documents, emails from John Brennan, the director of the CIA, from his personal email account. His email account was hacked at one point or another. There was a hack of his AOL email account that I guess somehow happened through a social engineering attack on Verizon. And, well, the information, the emails and documents that were uncovered end up at WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks releases them. And I guess there is some sensitive information there, including the social security numbers of high-ranking government officials and other things. And I don't really know what to make of his personal email being hacked. I mean, it kind of makes him look like it kind of makes him look like an idiot, right? When the director of the CIA has a security breach. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this is going to be more of a problem for the hackers potentially than for anybody whose information was hacked. This is really pretty serious. And I get what you're saying. It is very serious also when the chief of the CIA can have his email hacked. I certainly agree with that. But I don't fully understand the point of doing this. Is it merely an experiment in showing that it can be done?
I'm not really sure. Were they looking for specific information? It probably was just that. It probably was just some type of experiment, or trying to prove a point or whatever. It worked. I mean, it can be done. I mean, let's be honest here. Anything can be hacked,
sure.
Right? Anything that is not in a closed network can be accessed. And, well, if it's in a closed network, it'd have to be accessed from the inside. I guess that can happen too. But nothing is 100% secure. And I guess, a lot of people know that, but a lot of people probably don't. But WikiLeaks, when is the United States just going to declare war on WikiLeaks? How
well,
long?
Isn't there a reason Julian Assange has been holed up in the Ecuadorian embassy for how many years now?
Yeah, but that's just Assange. I mean, if we really wanted to, we could bring down the site, right? We could launch an all-out cyber war on the WikiLeaks site.
Yeah, but if it's hosted outside of the U.S., what
Exactly.
jurisdiction do you have?
Exactly. It's that's the question. And it really just seems at this point like our government has no choice but to just deal with whatever WikiLeaks decides to release. But it's incredible. I wonder how much money they offer for something like this. That could be another reason to do it, Dave, just to get paid by WikiLeaks. Yeah, it's a possibility. Okay. A while back, I talked about 23andMe being denied, which is a company that basically tests you for what?
It's a DNA test. They can tell you sort of your background, what parts of the world. It's one of those, they give you a report on what your DNA points to your background being.
It was primarily being used to detect diseases that you might be able to give to your children, or certain issues that you may have, things you may be prone to, heart disease, cancer, whatever. And they were offering this service to anyone, but the FDA shut them down. And this was, I think, 2 years ago. And so now they have finally reached an agreement with the FDA where they can offer the test, cost about $200, but now they can only tell you about certain things. And this was the agreement between the two. What can they tell you? I guess they can tell you about, you will receive a breakdown of your genetic predispositions, including non-medical inherited traits, things like bitter taste perception, lactose intolerance, cosmetic characteristics, and you can receive a report on 36 inherited conditions: cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia. It's a saliva test, by the way. So they're back, and this was the agreement reached. Now, one of the things that the FDA thought might be a problem was that before, when they were offering these tests, people might learn that they have the breast cancer gene, and they were worried that this might cause a frenzy, and people might all over the country might preemptively start getting double mastectomies and things like that because of the information given to them on these tests. And
you would think, though, that you would still have to go and then have a doctor replicate the test before you were able to just go and have that procedure done.
Yeah, maybe, unless that this test was proof enough. I don't really know. Depends on a lot of things. But anyway, I mean, I think this is good that they have reached an agreement. I think this is people should have access to this. Are you curious to try this?
Yeah, although it's sometimes when I think about it, certain things you can't really do anything about this early on. So do I really? I don't know. It's sort of a double-edged sword because, yeah, who doesn't want to know more about themselves? But at the same time, if there was something I was predisposed to that isn't likely to come up until I'm older, and there's no action items nothing actionable I could do now, am I just going to worry now for the next who knows how many years? I don't know how productive that would be.
Yeah, that's something to consider. So anyway, Dave, that's all I got today. Anything to add?
Nothing else.
Thank you.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.